Do you ever feel like you're stuck working 10 to 12 hours a day, putting out fires, and can never actually get to the work that moves your business forward? Well, the best business owners have a system that lets them work on the business instead of in it, and that's exactly what lets them scale faster while working less. I've helped over 100 business owners build this system, and it's helped them go from 60-hour weeks to 20-hour weeks, close million-dollar deals, and make their business run without them. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to build it to help you scale faster while working less, the rules you have to follow to make it work, and how to build it alongside all the urgent tasks and problems that take up most of your time. Now, every business owner knows that they need to work on the business. So here's the real question. If working on the business is the thing that would make running your business and scaling it easy, then why do you keep putting it off? Well, there's actually a very simple reason. You see, your day is like a glass being filled by water. Every message, client issue, meeting, and small decision is water being poured in, right? And so see, by the time you reach the afternoon, the glass it's already full. So when you try to pour in your important work, be it systems or revenue generating tasks or whatever it is, there's nowhere for it to go, so it just spills. And then you say, I'll do that tomorrow. But the only way this glass ever makes room for the work that grows your business, the important work, is if you put that in first, before all your meetings, emails, or busy work and useless tasks. So what you have to do is schedule a 2 to 4 hour block at the start of your day that is purely for on the business work. And this gets done every damn day. It is non-negotiable. Now, if you're watching this and you're sitting there thinking, I don't have time for that, Ross. Well, I've put the exact time audit tool that I use with my MOS clients in the description below. You essentially track what you do throughout the day in 15-minute blocks, and it'll show you in black and white what's taking up your time, and then you can see what should be delegated and what you should stop doing altogether. Essentially, you'll see that you actually have the time for 2 to 4 hours of important work. It's just being eaten alive by reactive bullshit, and then you can fix it and start working on the business. So click the link in the description below to get it. And yes, obviously, the more time you spend working on your business, the faster it will grow. But you have to start somewhere. So start with this 2 to 4 hour block. And as you systemize and delegate, you'll free up even more time for the work that matters. You'll grow faster and it all compounds. And look, I get that this is simple. But if it's so fucking simple, why aren't you doing it? You need to schedule time to do it, because otherwise it will not get done. That glass of water will get filled with all the small tasks and meetings and busy work that doesn't move the needle. And if the important work does not get done, well then how can you expect your business to grow? It can't and it won't, because you're not doing the things that grow it. And look, this isn't some productivity hack where I'm trying to get you to do more work. No, the goal here is to do better work on the right things. It's about reallocating what you put your effort into. But let me guess. You've tried this before, okay? But something always comes up that stopped you from doing it, right? That's pretty typical with all of my clients. Well, why is it that you can know you need to do this important work, but it's still somehow you lose it to just one urgent thing almost every time? See, what normally happens is you tell yourself, I'll just deal with this one thing, then I'll get to the important work. But that one thing, maybe it's replying to an email, turns into 3 emails, which leads to a call, then another small issue. Next thing you know, your entire focus block is gone. And if you repeat this enough times, you start to believe that important work is optional and putting out fires is mandatory. And the more this happens, the more your business depends on you, the more behind you get, and the more you're convinced that you'll never have the time to work on the business. But I'm here to tell you that that is bullshit. What you need to do is stop treating on the business important work as something that can be bumped by urgency, because guess what? If you don't do the important work for a long enough period of time, then you won't have a bloody business. You have to decide in advance that this block is prioritized in the same way you'd protect a call with your best client or a bloody doctor's appointment. Like, you wouldn't cancel a doctor's appointment because someone said to you, hey, quick question, or you had an email to reply to. But once you've got the time blocked off, what do you actually do when you sit down at your desk? What do you work on? Well, almost all of your important business owner only work falls into 3 buckets. First, we have growth. So this is any task that increases revenue. So it could be doing something for marketing, it could be fixing bottlenecks in your pipeline, it could be creating content, anything that generates revenue. The second bucket is systems. So this is work that makes your business easier to run and grow and removes you as the bottleneck. So it could be mapping out your systems, creating SOPs or bottleneck analysis. The third bucket is leverage. So this is the work in the business that makes it higher leverage. So the likes of hiring, strategic planning, or maybe redesigning the business model to make it more scalable. To put it simply, growth is widening the pipe so more money comes in. Systems is fixing the leaks in the pipes, and leverage is redesigning the pipe so it doesn't need you standing there holding it together. And your morning block for working on the business should always be spent in one of these three areas. The key is that when you sit down to work, you're not asking, what should I do today? You already know. Now, I do have other videos on the channel where I go into more depth on what work to focus on and structuring that work so you know the exact task that you should be sitting down to focus on today. So I will leave a link to that video at the end of this one. But obviously, you know what running a business is like. There's always some sort of fire to put out or urgent task that's screaming your name and it's bloody loud. And so if you want to work on the business, doing the important work, there's one non-negotiable rule that you need to follow. Now, this comes from Paul Graham's idea that you're either a maker or a manager. So as a business owner, you might have to do a bit of both, that's likely, but really you're a maker. You build things, you make things, you create things, and that's where you're worth the most to your company. You only really manage people if you haven't hired a manager to do it for you yet. But here's the thing, makers and managers need totally different schedules, and it's way too easy as a business owner to slip into a manager's diary full of interruptions, meetings, and busy work that stops you from doing what matters and what you are the best at. So your goal is to get as much maker's time as possible, and what that means practically is you need long blocks of uninterrupted time. So instead of having meetings scattered throughout the day, or jumping to your emails randomly, or just doing some task that your team should be able to handle, that 2 to 4 hour block that you schedule is entirely for tasks from those 3 buckets and those 3 buckets only. The more maker time you get, the more high impact work you can do without interruption. So if you can have days with 0 meetings, do it. Now, obviously, this is so much easier to do with a systemized business, but I get my clients to aim for just 1 weekly meeting, 1 hour, that's it. Sometimes you need or want more, that's completely fine, but just remember that fewer meetings means fewer interruptions and more time for work that actually grows your business and makes it less dependent on you. And yes, you can do this, okay? The business will not fall apart if you choose to take 0 calls or don't check your emails or message your team before 12 p.m. In fact, it'll only grow and improve since you're doing the things that grow the bloody business and improve it with no distraction and to high quality. And obviously, if you have no systems, there might be some problems here. So if you want to systemize your business in 12 weeks, you can click the link in the description below to work with me. But to really take this to the next level, so it is impossible your business does not grow, all you have to do is one simple thing. You ship one tangible outcome per block. So this could be one SOP, it could be one piece of content, it could be implementing a solution to a bottleneck, it could be whatever. What matters is that in your 2 to 4 hours, you get one concrete thing done. Now, like I said, I have other videos which will help you figure out what that one thing should be, so I'll link one of them at the end of this video. But each block for working on the business should be roughly 60 to 120 minutes with an optimal length of around 90 minutes. This is mainly due to the science of flow and focus and how neurotransmitter levels deplete and all of this, but work for 1 to 2 hours before you take a short 10 or 15 minute break and you start your next block if you have one scheduled. So if you schedule 4 hours to work in the business from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m, you could do 2 2-hour blocks where you ship 2 different things. Maybe one's around growth, another around systems, or you ship one thing, okay? It's really going to be context dependent, but the main thing is that you have something tangible that you can aim to make in each block or each day, because that is how you achieve the compounding effect over time, where you are shipping one thing that is going to move the needle ever so slightly in the business, and over a year you've shipped 365 fucking things. Your business will grow if you do this. It is impossible that it doesn't. Now, you might be wondering, when you're doing these important work blocks, what do you do with all the fires, the messages, and the quick things that normally pull you back into the business and stop you from doing this work? So what you need to do is 2 things. First, you systemize your business, because the more you build systems, the less your business relies on you and the fewer fires and problems that land on your plate. Now, if you want help with this, click the link in the description below to work with me and we'll systemize your business in just 12 weeks. But secondly, you want to schedule the last 60 minutes of your workday to be what I call a daily wrap. This is your designated time to handle all those fires, emails, and loose ends that popped up throughout the day. So instead of getting distracted every time something comes up and falling down the rabbit hole, you stay laser focused on your important work, knowing you have a set time to tackle everything else later. This essentially lets you power through urgent tasks in a structured window without the stress of wondering when you'll get to them or the constant distraction that kills your momentum. If you prefer, you can do a daily wrap at around noon after your first blocks of deep work. If you work from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. on the business, if you want to do a daily wrap or more of a morning wrap, I suppose, at 12 p.m. to handle all the emails and fires that come up in the morning, that's fine. But for most people, once at the end of the day is way more than enough. So you want to protect your maker time. You want to batch your reactive work, and you'll finally get the important stuff done. But anyway, if you want to see exactly what you should work on in those important work blocks, click the video on screen now, and I'll show you exactly how to figure it out.